Hey everyone, we're at the InWin booth now at Computex 2018. They have two main cases and then some fans and power supplies. So InWin always does a signature series case at Computex and CES. They've done it again. We're going to push that to the back half of the video because I'm sure you've seen a lot of that already. This is the 307. We'll start with this one.
Before that, this video is brought to you by Thermaltake's View 37 case. The View 37 focuses on highlighting custom PC builds with its full panoramic window and tinted front acrylic. In our thermal testing, the View 37 performed reasonably well when considering its looks-focused build, which is partly thanks to the airflow design and the removal of a bottom power supply shroud. For a balance of looks and performance, check the link in the description below for the View 37.
So the InWin 307 it's the 303 tooling. So if you're familiar with the 303, same idea. The difference is they stuck a different panel on the front of it. I will quickly point out this case. This isn't going to be the final colors. We have some B-roll of one that will be the final colors. This is going to be a white, not this off green that the prototype is here. So just kind of ignore that for now. But the LED plate on the front is what you need to pay attention to. So basically it's 8x18 LEDs. They are programmable and addressable via software. There's a button on the side where you can toggle what it's doing, but if you go through software, I suppose the idea, the gimmick, if you will, of this case is that you can individually program which LEDs light up when, and then animate it in sequence. So if you wanted to do functionally an animated, I'm going to piss a lot of people off, GIF on the front of your case, you could do that, and it has a couple of different frames that it can cycle between, giving, in this instance, these Space Invaders look. So kind of neat. It's definitely a different implementation of RGB LEDs. InWin previously had the Infinity case, which had an infinity mirror on it and LEDs around the border. So this is kind of like a similar idea where the front panel's been swapped out for something on the 303 for something that's just loaded with LEDs. 144 LEDs, I think, on this one. And then, so that's the 307. The tooling is the 303 as noted. Not 100% sure on the stock specs in terms of fans or price, but it's looking like close to $300 probably for this case. So a bit of a showpiece for sure, not the most practical. If you want something practical, InWin's shown the A1 case a lot now for at least a year. So that's finally in the market. If you've been waiting for the A1 Mini ITX case, it's out there. We'll be reviewing it once we're back. That's on the practical side. I guess we'll go through the new Signature Series case as well. So that's behind me. We have some B-roll of it. It's a Z-Series case. It's basically shaped like a vortex, like an airflow vortex, and it has some, I guess, zebra patterned holes in it. The fun part is that it's extremely thick aluminum and a lot of aluminum. So it weighs about 90 pounds, it's empty, and the paneling on it, they've got one out that's just out to pick up, pretty hefty. So 90 pounds of aluminum. The thickest part is something, depending on how you measure it, if you cross-section it's like a centimeter thick basically. So very thick for any aluminum paneling at all, and that's going to make it expensive. We don't 100% sure know the price on it, couple grand plus, probably several. So that's the new Signature Series case. More practical stuff. The crown fan is brand new, so this is pretty interesting actually. Basically, I think I've seen this maybe once before. I don't know if it came to market, but the entire frame spins. So, I mean, the black part is the real frame. That's what you mount to the case. But the outer circular shell around the fan blades, where it connects to the blades, spins with the rest of the fan. So we've seen stuff like this. I'm not sure if we've ever seen it really come to market in a successful way. So InWin's going to give it a shot. That's the crown fan. Comes in 140 and 120s, and we'll talk about it more in the future, I'm sure. But it's got LEDs in it as well, of course, as does everything these days. And then they also have a PremiumBasic power supply, it's brand new power supply line. The only really interesting thing on that that's worthy of note is it's got two LED connectors on it, on the power supply natively. So where you plug in all of your ATX cables, you can also plug in RGB LED cables, and that allows it to communicate with a motherboard or whatever other device you have plugged in, maybe one of the RGB controllers on the market. So the idea being you can synchronize the power supply RGB LEDs with the rest of the system if you wanted to. Typically they're isolated systems, they can't communicate with one another. Alternatively, it's got an out, so it can do RGB out into whatever the device may be, and then when you push the button on the back of the power supply, it changes the power supply color, but also changes the color of the device that is attached to it via the out port. So that's all of InWin's main parts here at Computex 2018. As always, subscribe for more. Go to patreon.com/gamersnexus, helps out directly. Store.gamersnexus.net to pick up one of our mod mats. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.